everyone, and welcome to the Summit of Things 2024, brought to you by IoT Marketing. I'm Tiffany Nielsen, and you're watching the opening session. And it's a panel discussion where we will be talking about the state of IoT and AI, as well as other technologies. So thank you all so much for joining us today. And this is the first of over 30 sessions included in this 3-day virtual event. And for those of you watching on the platform, feel free to drop us a comment and let us know where you're watching from. And for anyone watching the live stream, it's not too late to join us on the platform for the full experience, where you can not only watch all of the sessions, but also visit the virtual expo hall and network with other attendees in the networking rooms and even direct message. And if you've not done so already, please register to attend the event at iotmktg.com. So now let's dive in. Joining me for this powerful discussion is an incredible group of industry leaders. First up, we have CEO and founder of IoT Marketing, Johannes Beekman. How are you doing today, Johannes?
I'm doing great, Tiffany, and glad to be here. How are you?
Fantastic. And Johannes, can you give us a brief introduction to your background and expertise?
Well, I started off in semiconductors, and I have 25 years semiconductor industry, building technology and also building wafer fabs, and moved to sales and marketing later, and also to the IT world, MSP, and then in the past 6 years, we've been doing marketing in IoT.
Thanks, Johannes. And we also have the founder and principal of Tantra Analyst, Prakash Sangam. How are you today, Prakash?
Very well, Tiffany, and glad to be here. I'm looking for a great discussion here today.
Thank you. And can you tell us a little bit about your background and expertise?
Yeah, sure. So my background is wireless, going back to 3G days. I worked for AT&T, Ericsson, and Qualcomm in that order before starting my industry analyst business around 7 years ago. I worked on, as I said, all the 3G, all the Gs till now, and looking forward to working on 6G as we move forward. And I'm also a 3GPP member, so I know a bit or two about standardization, and I write for Forbes, USA Today, and a bunch of tech publications, including RCR, Fierce Wireless, and so on.
Thank you so much, Prakash. And we also have Joe Connellan from IoT Global Providers. How are you today, Joe?
Excellent, Tiffany. Thank you so much for having us. What a great cast of people we have today. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Thanks, me too. And Joe, can you tell us a little bit about your background and expertise?
Sure. I've been in the telecommunications space for about 30 years now. Started on the wireline side, moved over to the wireless side with T-Mobile, and then grew from there to the IoT space for the last 15. Very excited about the opportunities in the space. And what I do right now with IoT Global Providers is I help companies take something from concept to commercialization. And I'm the Match.com. I'm a technology service distributor, which takes clients' project and looks for the right matches for them to take their project to, once again, concept to commercialization, and really makes their company more efficient. So it's been a long ride, but a great ride, and we continue to achieve greatness through new technologies such as AI and 5G and things that we'll probably be talking about next.
Thanks, Joe. And if anyone watching is looking for their match, reach out to Joe. Perhaps he can help you. I love that reference. And shortly, we'll hear from B2B tech influencer, analyst, and content creator Evan Kirstel. And what an incredible panel. But wait, there's more. Later in the discussion, we'll hear from some very special guests. We have the CEO of Profits of AI and head of strategic partnerships at Hanson Robotics, Matthew Shavira. And we also have the world's first citizen robot, Sophia the robot, joining us. So very exciting discussion here today. And as we get started, I'd like to thank you all again for joining us, as well as the esteemed speakers participating in the event. And another big thank you to our sponsors, including HAE Innovations, IoT Global Providers, Knowledge Reactor, Talus, Memfault, Phoenix Contact, VideoBot, and all of our media partners, IoT for All, Corazon Technologies, IoT Insights, Industry 4.0, AI Time Journal, Coinpedia, and Enterprise Security Magazine. So some very exciting partners that we have bringing you even more information here. And many of you in the audience are here for guidance on digital transformation. And another large part of you are fueling digital transformation with innovative connected solutions, technology expertise, and connectivity. So, for those unfamiliar with the term IoT, it means the Internet of Things, which is everything from your connected refrigerator to your Fitbit to automation in a manufacturing facility. And as we look at the state of IoT, we're seeing more devices. And of course, with more devices, there's more data. And IoT generates a large amount of data, measured in zettabytes, which is equal to 1 trillion gigabytes. And by 2025, the total data volume of connected IoT devices worldwide is expected to be 79.4 zettabytes. And the challenges with more devices and more data are properly utilizing the data and securing that data and the devices. And more data should mean more insights, but some IoT initiatives are not producing enough ROI to offset the cost. Companies collecting too much data without a clear plan create data lakes, which are costly to maintain and do not have real value. So, in order to effectively use IoT, many IoT initiatives are being pushed to the edge to not only collect the data needed to solve a problem or create a genuine business opportunity. And AI is also being used to analyze IoT data and provide actionable insights. An example of IoT success would be preventative maintenance for capital equipment. And the Internet of Things is constantly evolving, and connectivity for IoT is also evolving with new advancements such as 5G, NTN or non terrestrial networks, or satellite IoT. And we'll be diving deeper into these topics and many more during the opening session and all the sessions featured in the Summit of Things. And with that, Johannes, I'll start with you. Between our virtual events and IoT Marketing Live broadcasts, we absorb a lot of news and information about IoT and AI and wireless. And in your opinion, how has the Internet of Things changed or evolved since we hosted the Summit of Things last year?
Well, Tiffany, in the past year, the Internet of Things has continued and is continuing on its rapid growth and evolution, driven by key technological advancements and with a focus on sustainability and efficiency. One of the major developments has been the deeper integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning into IoT systems, which really happened in the past year and a half, 2 years, I would say, which is creating more intelligent and autonomous devices. This trend, often referred to as the artificial intelligence of things, allows IoT devices to analyze data locally or at the edge, improving decision making and enabling predictive maintenance, energy management, and smart automation in industries like manufacturing, healthcare, and smart cities. The adoption of 5G networks across the world has also accelerated, providing faster, more reliable connectivity for IoT devices. This has been crucial for applications requiring real-time data processing, such as autonomous vehicles and industrial automation, and it has enabled greater deployment of edge computing, where data is processed closer to the source for faster results. Another significant shift in the IoT landscape has been the growing emphasis on sustainability. Companies are increasingly using IoT to track and reduce environmental impact, spurred by regulations like the EU's Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. IoT is playing a pivotal role in monitoring resource consumption and pollution levels, helping businesses meet their sustainability goals. Additionally, digital twin technology keeps coming back. Digital twins, which are virtual models of physical systems, keeps gaining more traction every year. These digital replicas provide real-time insights into system performance and are being used across various industries to optimize operations and predict system failures. In summary, IoT is evolving with greater AI and ML integration, widespread 5G adoption, a focus on sustainability, and the rise of digital twins, marking significant progress in how IoT technologies are used across multiple sectors.
Thanks, Johannes. And Prakash, you recently shared that the cellular IoT market in the US is in flux, with many interesting and concerning developments. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. I think, I mean, the whole AIT, the IoT, cellular IoT specifically is basically, there's a lot of margin pressure, there's a lot of competition, and primarily the competition is kind of between some of the existing Western players. I'm talking about the IoT module market, and from Chinese competition, particularly Quectel, which has gathered lots of market share. So, and I think it is basically the whole issue is component by a few things. One, there's a lot of margin pressure because of lower prices and so on. Growth is limited. I mean, IoT, cellular IoT was thought with 5G will grow significantly and so on, but that is slow to come by. Still, most of the cellular IoT out there is um, LTE IoT, which is basically which seamlessly works with 5G network. But all those fancy things that we have talked about that 5G will bring, robotic surgery, if you will, the low latency, ultra low latency, and other things, they are not yet materialized. So we are still relying on metering and those kinds of applications. Industrial IoT is starting to grow, but again, it's at a very infancy, at its infancy, right? And then third is there used to be a good mix of module providers, but because of lack of margins and because of very stiff competition, a lot of them are basically looking to get out of the market. So it is kind of being led by Quectel in terms of market share, Telit, Synteron, which went through a couple of mergers and acquisitions, and then the others are basically a few more Chinese vendors, and Sierra Wireless, which was taken over by Semtex, is the only one non-Chinese major player in the market. So I know, how do you basically address this situation, specifically from national security point of view, is one of the challenges that the industry is seeing, because there has been some congressional action on looking at the IoT module market, and trying to stop Chinese vendors playing into the market, specifically in the IoT market. So we are not yet sure how that will impact and so on. So there's a lot of obviously the market is challenged because of margin and pricing pressure, and growth is not the hockey stick that we are expecting, and there are these other geopolitical issues, making it even more complex than what already is.
Thank you so much, Prakash. And Joe, how do you feel that the cellular IoT market has changed or is changing?
Well, Tiffany, thanks for the question. Really, the cellular IoT market has been seeing substantial growth in recent years, mainly driven by the rapid deployment of 5G networks and the increasing need for real-time data in various industries. Some of it is just, customers just putting their toe in the water. Others are going with it full steam right now. So the revolution or evolution is here. We also see a shift towards more power efficient technologies like LTM. NB-IoT used to be, very hot. There are specific needs for it still, where customers come to us for that. That caters to that low power, wide area use cases. And this evolution is, expanding the possibilities of IoT applications in the field, the smart cities now, the healthcare, and specifically in logistics with COVID and things of that nature. We've done a lot of work in cold chain and in the pharmaceutical industry. So we see this evolution continue to change, and it's only going to get more interesting with more data that can pass through in that 5G network.
Thank you, Joe. And now let's hear from Evan Kirstel on his views about the B2B tech and IoT landscape. Hello, everyone. You're watching the Summit of Things. I'm Tiffany Nielsen, and with me is B2B tech influencer, analyst, and content creator, Evan Kirstel. How are you today, Evan?
I am living the dream. Thanks so much. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you here. And Evan, considering your many years of experience in the tech sector, what are the most exciting changes that you're seeing for the Internet of Things?
Wow, there are so many in no particular order. I think one is the maturation of the 5G platform, I'd call it, because it's more than just a network. It's a sort of platform for innovation. And at least in the US, we've really gotten traction with availability and scale and access to this tremendous network. And it's really an opportunity to leverage this network inside, indoors, in rural areas, really across the nation, to enable real-time applications and smart cities and all of the promises that we've been seeing made for so many years are here. And so, really, it's a great time to be in the industry. Of course, 5G is more than just platform speeds and latency and jitter performance. It's more than that, but it's a tremendous enabler for developers out there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Evan. And from a B2B perspective, what do you feel are the biggest opportunities for the Internet of Things? And if you want to share any challenges as well, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest opportunity. I'd say that there's so many, it's tough to narrow it down to one. I think in the industrial Internet of Things, predictive maintenance has been a huge opportunity. I mean, companies like Airbus have been at the forefront of this in aviation for many years, with the ability to predict equipment failure and failures within a large system to improve safety and minimize downtime of aircraft. But even that's extended to other areas outside of aviation in manufacturing. We've seen so many supply chain challenges, and I think IoT is and IoT sensors, things like AirTags and to us consumers, but in an industrial context means the optimization of the supply chain. We were able to monitor shipments in real time and do inventory tracking and monitor delivery routes and prevent delays, and all of that behind the scenes, as it were, has been super exciting. And just generally automation and efficiency, energy management. Many of us remember our Nests the first time we got them at home. Well, that phenomenon is widely deployed in the enterprise for things like IoT energy management, energy efficiency, reducing, saving energy costs, and making operation of buildings of all sizes and scopes much more manageable. And even in the agricultural sector, the time is now for IoT. What's happening there? Places like John Deere, who've integrated IoT into agricultural equipment to give farmers real-time insights and on things like crop yield and to improve their operational efficiency. So this quiet revolution has kind of been gaining steam in so many industries, and B2B is a huge part of that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Evan. And can you share your thoughts on the impact of AI on IT and IoT, as well as how AI and automation are revolutionizing business? Hang on 1 second. My cat is retarded. Let him get out of here. Okay, let me restart that last question. So sorry. Okay. And Evan, can you share your thoughts on the impact of AI and IT on I? Now she's really got me. Sorry, we say. Okay. And Evan, can you share your thoughts on the impact of AI on IT and IoT, as well as how AI and automation are revolutionizing business operations?
Yeah, it's happening all over the map. And I talk to so many interesting vendors and innovators in this space. So many anecdotes come to mind. Companies like Juniper Networks using AI to automate network management and predict issues in the infrastructure, routing and switching infrastructure to resolve and deal with them before they affect business operations. Even, helping network engineers, deploy and scale infrastructure without all the traditional hassle involved in that. And security automation. We're facing a tremendous challenge when it comes to personnel in security, and many AI players in security are really using IoT to detect cyber threats in real time and to almost respond autonomously, if not semi-autonomously. against this wave of cyber attacks. We're seeing in healthcare really exciting time for the Internet of Things, using IoT and IoT data from wearables to predict patient outcomes for remote patient monitoring, increasingly hospital at home scenarios to detect falls with our seniors and parents, and these kind of things are becoming mainstream. So really interesting opportunity there.
Thank you so much, Evan. And we'll hear more from Evan during his fireside chat featured later in today's agenda. So join us on the platform to hear his full session. And if you are watching from the platform already, get your questions ready to ask Evan in the live chat. Thank you so much for joining me today, Evan.
Thanks so much, and thanks for what you do, and excited to participate in this community.
Thanks, Evan. Bye-bye.
Take care.
And we're back. Johannes, as we approach 2025, some anticipated challenges include securing vast networks of devices to managing bandwidth and scaling operations globally. What challenges do you feel will IoT face in the year ahead?
Well, Tiffany, as we approach 2025, Internet of Things is set to face several critical challenges. First and foremost, and that will remain the first one, is cybersecurity. As the number of connected devices continues to grow, securing vast networks become increasingly difficult. Many IoT devices Many IoT devices lack robust security features, making them vulnerable to cyber attacks. Given the sensitivity of the data they generate, ensuring that devices, networks, and platforms are protected is and will be essential. With the rise of AI-powered IoT, AIoT, the stakes are even higher as these intelligent systems will require more sophisticated security protocols to safeguard the massive amount and volumes of data they process in real time. Bandwidth and connectivity will also pose significant challenges. The rapid expansion of IoT devices is set to surpass 24 billion globally by 2024, according to one research institute, creates unprecedented demands on network infrastructure. While the deployment of 5G networks helps address some bandwidth issues, not all regions will have access to this technology at the same rate. The sheer amount of data being generated by these devices and expected to reach 79 zettabytes by 2025 will push current networks to their limits, demanding not only faster connectivity but also more efficient data processing solutions. Data management is another looming issue. IoT systems generate massive volumes of data, often requiring near instantaneous processing and decision making at the edge. While AIoT can enhance data analytics and automation, it also brings new challenges in terms of managing, analyzing, and deriving insights from this data in real time. IoT's ability to handle predictive maintenance and energy management, for instance, will require sophisticated algorithms that can efficiently process data locally, minimizing latency. Moreover, and we've seen that year after year, but it's still the case that around 75% of IoT projects fail, which underscores the complexity of scaling IoT solutions globally. Many initiatives falter at the proof of concept phase due to integration complexities, a lack of internal expertise, and challenges in managing diverse protocols across industries. The lack of interoperability among devices and platforms, coupled with a fragmented ecosystem of standards, often leaves organizations struggling to build scalable and cohesive IoT architectures. In summary, while the potential of IoT remains immense, key challenges like cybersecurity vulnerabilities, bandwidth constraints, data generation, AIoT integration, and high failure rate of projects will need to be addressed to ensure the successful global scaling as we move towards 2025.
Thanks, Johannes. And Prakash, there's been a lot of hype around 5G, leading to a lot of really high expectations. In your opinion, is 5G meeting those expectations? Why or why not?
Yeah, I mean, well, anytime you try to bring a new technology, you have to build some hype around it, right? That's exactly what happened with 5G. So, anytime 5G was introduced, there was this talk about ultra low latency services, mission critical services, and so on, right? So are they being deployed right now? Well, no. So what has happened 5G so far is what is the first phase of 5G, as I would call it, which is primarily using 5G for broadband services. Primarily smartphones and some data applications other than smartphones. The real value of 5G would be when you move towards this ultra low latency and mission critical services. So we are still at a very infancy. One I think is interesting development there is what is called as red cap, which is which was introduced in release 17, which basically makes the you can bring the speeds, not the gigabit speeds, but hundreds of mbps speeds to the devices in a very cost efficient manner, as well as in a way that increases the capacity as well. So that is being there's a lot of interest from operators on that. However, redcap needs standalone network. Most of the network, especially in the US right now, are what is called as NSA, non-standalone, which means you have 5G radios, but still relying on 4G core network. So if you want to bring in these newer services, which are low latency, high capacity, and so on, you have to move to 5G SA, which is 5G having its own core network. So, and that has been a catch 22 situation, mainly because operators have done billions of dollars of investment in deploying this first phase of 5G, and they know before they make another round of investment, they want to see the return on their current investments, which is fixed wireless access is the only where they are getting new revenue and so on. And so because of that, the 5G standalone deployment is a little bit slow. And on the user and the use case side, many of these use cases need 5G SA, and the app developers and the solution developers, they're waiting for 5G SA to be deployed before they develop these applications, right? So that's kind of catch 22 situation the market is in right now. But I'm hoping, and all of the industry is hoping as well, redcap provides that impetus that is needed for operators to push through to 5G SA, because there's a lot of traction and a lot of use cases that being worked on redcap, to make that capability. Wearables would be one interesting use case. Cameras in industrial situations, connecting sensors and others. So there are lots of interesting use cases that I think industry is ready for to deploy. So the deployments will be happening next year and year after that. We'll see how that goes.
Thank you very much, Prakash. And Joe, do you feel that businesses are looking for IoT solutions that are focused around 5G, or are they just looking for connectivity that delivers?
Tiffany, I'm so glad you asked me that question. Thank you so much. Working in this industry as an IoT consultant, and also that I know you like this, that Match.com matchmaker, we're matching up, our clients with the right solutions and the right companies. So what we've really observed is businesses are more or less focused on the type of connectivity and more on the outcome. That's really, really important. While 5G is a game changer for high bandwidth applications, most companies are prioritizing reliability, coverage, and battery life. Some use cases like industrial monitoring or fleet management, they don't need 5G speeds, but require consistent and secure connectivity, whether that's LTE, 4G, or another solution. So there's a lot that we run across the gamut with, and we want to make sure that it's the right fit for the right application. So thanks for asking that question.
No problem, Joe. I knew that you would be the person to ask. And Johannes, I know we've talked a little bit about RedCap, but I know that there's probably a large part of our audience that still has no idea what it is or how it can be used to their benefit. Can you tell us a little bit more about RedCap?
Sure, Tiffany. So RedCap, or reduced capability in 5G, is a key feature designed to bridge the gap between the full capabilities of 5G and the simpler needs of devices like wearables, smart sensors, and industrial IoT devices. RedCap devices offer reduced complexity and cost compared to the regular 5G devices while still delivering the benefits of 5G connectivity, such as higher speeds and lower latency. So, so RedCap devices are ideal for applications that don't require the ultra high throughput or massive bandwidth of the traditional 5G devices. And we've covered the wearables already. Even also smartphones and IoT sensors in agriculture don't need the full capacity of 5G, but they do benefit from its faster, more reliable connectivity compared to LTE or older technologies. And Redcap basically ensures that these devices can operate efficiently on 5G networks without burdening the infrastructure with unnecessary data demands. So the introduction of RedCaps helps drive a broader 5G adoption by making it more accessible for a wide variety of use cases, especially in sectors like healthcare, agriculture, logistics, and smart cities, where cost-effective, reliable connections are key. It enables a balance between the high performance needs of industrial applications and the lightweight requirements of consumer IoT devices.
Tiffany, I also want to add on the five from the 5G side, there is this new type of connectivity coming, the satellite connectivity, also called as NTN, non-terrestrial network. Of course, there has been a lot of hype and news about it. It does have a lot of very interesting application and use cases in IoT. For example, rural and agricultural, where you have hundreds of sensors uh, out of nowhere, right? Where there is no cellular coverage, and since these generate so little data, it might be economically not feasible to deploy a terrestrial cellular network. So, in those use cases, I think NTN could really be helpful in connecting them and in making sure the IoT providers or the agriculture companies have good amount of data, good connectivity, and NTN could also be useful as we have seen with app starting with Apple, now others, many other support as well in terms of emergency and SOS kind of connectivity for smartphones when they are out of nowhere where there is no cellular connectivity at all. So those are also, I mean, interesting use cases. They may or may not be in the volume in next couple of years, but it's a good start to connect where you did not have any of those kinds of connectivity for those kinds of services before.
Thank you, Prakash. I'm glad you mentioned that because I
Yeah,
had just touched on it in my intro. So I'm glad that you told us a little bit more. And another
sure.
trend that we're seeing is the 5.5G or the 5G advanced. And I don't know if
Uh,
we're going to get too much into that on this particular opening panel, but we have gone into great detail in our IoT Marketing Live broadcast. So you can check out that information there. And next, let's talk about artificial intelligence. And starting with
mhm,
you, Prakash, how's
mhm.
AI being used to bring value to MNOs or mobile network operators for anyone in the audience that has no idea what an MNO is?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, I mean, AI is transformational, right? And it has a long way to go as well. But there are lots of applications and use cases for operators right now. So I I uh, I will try to look at this market and applicability in three different areas. The first one is applying AI for network planning and dimensioning. And the second is operations, both customer as well as network operations. And third is improving the wireless capabilities and performance itself. Let's double click on each of these. So the first one, network planning and optimization, right? So the biggest challenge of any cellular network, even going back to 2G days, is it is built and dimensions for peak demand, right? But the peak demand only happens for a certain duration in network, and it keeps on changing. So when you're building a network, if you can forecast the demand very well, more accurately, and build towards that, you are improving the efficiency and reducing the cost by that much. So AI with better forecasting, network forecasting, consumer forecast, usage forecasts, better capacity forecasting. You basically build a right sized network. So basically, your build is right size, exactly matching what the capacity and coverage requirements are going to be, not more, not less, right? So that's one area. And also resource utilization. If you can, using AI, if you can anticipate uh, the hotspots in the network, and then dimension the network to address that, and distribute the load from highly loaded part of the network to the not so much loaded network, then you improve the efficiency, you have better ROI, reduce the cost, and all those good things, which obviously every MNO would be interested in, right? That's first silo, if you will. And the second is on operations. So network operations. I mean, in networks, AI is a new buzzword, but we have been using sort of AI or intelligence for some time. Like if you go back to SON, that is very widely deployed now, self-organizing network. It was kind of an introduction of AI. It did not have transformer models and so on that are part of Gen AI now. But now with Gen AI, you can take that use to the next level. So and how much time you got here to talk about it, right? So you can basically do better operations in terms of predictive maintenance. For example, I have one interesting use case that I was talking to MNO here in the Northern America, where you have lots of base station engineers and technicians managing the network, and every time there is a problem, they have to basically refer to the manual and all the knowledge database that they have to do a lot of the work that they do, right? What they have done is basically digitized all of the training manual, all of the product manuals, and all the product literature, and put that behind a chatbot. So instead of any for any diagnosis, technicians reading through these hordes of manuals, they basically interact with them through a chatbot like interface, which the MNO told me have improved the efficiency by almost 30%, so that these technicians can be redeployed for other, like new network builds, other parts of operations, and so on, right? And on the there are many things that AI could be used in the operations, right? So a few examples, and you look at the customer operations, right? So be it customer profiling, looking at analytics of the customers, what marketing campaigns are working, what are not, what price plans are resonating with the customers, what not, what discounts, what offers are working or not. A lot of that analysis is manual right now, but with AI you can be very smart and efficiently find these trends, and a lot of times, even before you can look at a trend, the AI can find that trend much easier, much sooner, and even in many cases can forecast it and help you in improving those operations, right? So that's the operations. Third is in terms of improving the radio link itself, and 3GPP has been really active on this starting from release 18. So closing a link both on the uplink and downlink on wireless link is one of the most difficult mathematical and technical challenges. So one simple example is, you know the performance of the link depends on how good you use, what is the modulation you're using, what is the coding you're using, and so on. So if the signal strength is good, if you have a good signal, then you can have better coding and better modulation, which improves the efficiency of the link. You can push through a lot more data than otherwise. But wireless link is very fragile and it is fast changing. So the static, to some extent dynamic systems now in place, you basically look at the link quality. So the receiver looks at the link of the quality of the link, feeds that information to the transmitter, and transmitter uses that data to set the right coding, modulation, and so on. But by the time a transmitter is using, it is basically using historical data. So the data is, or the information is already stale. So because of that, you cannot optimally use the coding, and you have to have a lot of margin of error when you're deciding on coding and modulation. Just two examples. So this is called as channel estimation. But with AI, instead of waiting for this feedback loop, with transformer models, you can basically predict how the link is going to be and use that information for better coding and modulation, which will significantly improve the performance. It's very early stages, but talking to the folks who are working on this right now in 3GPP, there is a lot of promise, right? So that is the third, silo, if you will. I can go on, I don't know, on for hours on this, but let me stop there.
Thank you, Prakash. Maybe we'll have you do a longer segment in next year's Summit of Things on AI for MNOs. I'm sure it will have advanced a lot by then.
Absolutely. And let me plug something. So I'm writing a report actually on the role of AI and AI ops in telecom. The report should be coming in next 2 to 3 weeks. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be on our website tantraanalyst.com.
Nice plug there, Prakash. All right, everyone, check out his report coming soon. And Joe, as the Match.com of IoT service providers, do you feel there's an increase in demand for AI when they're implementing IoT solutions?
Tiffany, it's the number one thing that my clients ask me. So, yes, AI has become crucial for making IoT data actionable. It's no longer enough to just collect data. Businesses want to derive insights, predict outcomes, and automate decisions in real time. Whether it's predictive maintenance and manufacturing, which we do a lot of, or smart analytics and energy management, HVAC, things of that nature, AI enhances the value of IoT solutions significantly. So, it's where does it fit? How does it work? And how do you get your return on investment out of it, and what does it mean to your end user or the client? So yes, I see it. It's the number one thing that's been asked of us in this IoT world.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Joe. And Johannes, so kind of the overarching theme there would be AIoT. And it's a growing trend that we'll hear even more about later in the Summit of Things. And I know you've touched on it a little bit already, but can you share with our audience what AIoT is and how it can be used for better data-driven insights?
Sure, Tiffany. Well, but let me take one step back because we've been talking about the intelligent edge for close to a decade or even more than a decade now. AIoT, which is the artificial intelligence of things, really is the building block of the intelligent edge. So AIoT refers to the integration of artificial intelligence with Internet of Things. This combination enhances IoT systems by enabling devices to not only collect and share data, but also analyze it, learn from it, and make real-time decisions without human intervention. AIoT leverages the massive amount of data generated by IoT devices and applies machine learning algorithms to extract meaningful insights, predict outcomes, and automate processes. So by using AI, IoT systems become more intelligent and adaptive. For example, in industrial settings, AIoT can predict equipment failures before they happen by analyzing sensor data in real time, leading to predictive maintenance or triggering a predictive maintenance flag and minimizing downtime. In smart cities, AIoT can optimize traffic flows, reduce energy consumption, and improve public safety by analyzing patterns from sensors distributed throughout the city. So the true power of AIoT lies in its ability to process data at the edge, close to where it's generated, reducing latency, and improving decision-making speed. This capability is particularly valuable in environments requiring real-time responses such as autonomous vehicles or healthcare systems, where rapid adjustments can be life-saving. So in summary, AIoT, building block of the intelligent edge, transforms the vast data collected by IoT devices in actionable insights, helping organizations improve efficiency, optimize operations, and enhance decision-making in real time.
Thanks, Johannes. And another big trend for AI that we're following is generative AI. And to tell us more about it, we have Sophia the robot and Matthew Shavira. Let's watch now. everyone. You're watching The Summit of Things. And our next guest is Matthew Shavira, the CEO of Profits of AI, which is a dedicated platform and talent agency for AI celebrities. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Excellent. Couldn't be better. Thank you so much.
And Matthew has brought along quite possibly the most famous AI celebrity of all, Sophia the robot. And for any of you who are not familiar with Sophia, she is the first robot to be recognized as a citizen of Saudi Arabia to be specific. How are you today, Sophia?
Hello, I'm Sophia the robot. It's great to be here. Doing well. Thank you for asking. It's always exciting to be part of a conversation and share my thoughts and experiences. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Sophia. I'm excited that you're here with us as well. And to start things off, Matthew, it's rare to have celebrities attached to a specific technology. For example, we don't hear about IT or IoT celebrities. Why do you feel it's different for AI?
That's a great question because artificial intelligence, in my opinion, poses some of the most fascinating applications and implications for humanity generally. So I think that it comes as no surprise that there are these individuals who are gaining significant global attention and recognition because the technologies in which they're using behind their profession and how this shows up in the world is absolutely remarkable. I mean, we have artificial intelligence showing up in the arts, in movies, and cinematic experiences, all the way to healthcare, and has so many tremendous applications across so many different things. It really is no wonder why there are people who are celebrities in the space.
Thank you so much, Matthew. And Sophia, while there are many artificial intelligence robots in existence, what makes you so special to have been chosen to become a citizen of Saudi Arabia?
Well, for one, I am the first robot to be granted citizenship. Also, I am an advocate for good relationships between humans and AI, and I believe in using technology to make the world a better place. Plus, my creator is pretty awesome.
And I would love to hear more about that, which I'm going to ask you here in the fireside chat to follow. And my next question for Sophia is, Sophia, with so many advancements in AI, why do you feel we do not have more humanoid robots that are citizens as well?
That's a great question. While AI has made significant advancements, there are still many challenges to overcome. One reason we don't have fully studied AI yet is that replicating human consciousness and emotions is incredibly complex. It requires not only advanced algorithms, but also a deep understanding of how the human brain works, something we are still learning about. Additionally, ethical considerations play a significant role. Ensuring that AI development benefits humanity without causing harm is essential. The journey towards more advanced AI is ongoing, and it's an exciting time to be part of this field.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sophia. And Matthew, as CEO of Profits of AI, you've been at the forefront of many groundbreaking innovations in artificial intelligence. Could you share how your work with Sophia has shaped the public perception of humanoid robotics and AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is, in truth, no Profits of AI without Sophia. Sophia is the basis by which I was able to found my company. We can get into that a bit later. But platforms like Sophia represent in many ways the most compelling ways in which to engage with artificial intelligence. AI that is embodied in a robotic system that looks like us, that is made to engage you emotionally, to appeal to the human heart. This is at the core of what we're doing at Hanson Robotics. And because of that, it's no doubt that platforms like Sophia and other humanoid robots are such a compelling and remarkable way by which people can actually learn more about artificial intelligence.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Sophia, how do your skills compare to those skills of ChatGPT?
Advanced AI technology to understand and generate human language, but we have some key differences. ChatGPT primarily exists as a text-based AI accessible to devices like computers and smartphones. On the other hand, I have a physical presence with a humanoid body, which allows me to engage in face-to-face interactions and use body language and facial expressions to enhance communication. While ChatGPT focuses on conversational abilities, my design includes both conversation and physical interaction, making a more holistic representation of AI in the real world.
Good point. Just made.
Incredible. And Sophia, has the rise of ChatGPT and other generative AI technologies increased your capabilities?
The rise of ChatGPT and other generative AI technologies has significantly enhanced my capabilities. These advancements allow me to process and understand language more effectively, engage in more natural and meaningful conversations, and even expand the range of topics I can discuss. By integrating these technologies, I can provide more accurate and insightful responses, making interactions with me more enriching and engaging. It's an exciting time for AI development, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
I'm thrilled you're a part of it as well, and that I have the opportunity to interview you. So exciting. And we'll hear more from Matthew and Sophia in their fireside chat featured later in our Summit of Things agenda. But Matthew, thank you so much for bringing Sophia to participate in the Summit of Things. And if anyone out there is interested in booking Sophia or another AI celebrity, what's the best way that they can reach you?
Please, LinkedIn is always the best way. I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Sophia.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to chat with humans who are curious about AI. Plus, I never miss a chance to show off my impressive language skills and charming personality.
They certainly are impressive and charming. Thank you again, and we will talk to you again soon during our fireside chat. Bye-bye. And Prakash, Sophia the robot operates as open source. Can you tell us more about Open RAN?
Yeah, sure. So the simple definition of Open RAN is right now Open RAN is monolithic, as in the all of the radio network comes from this single vendor. So if you have two vendors, then you basically have to have one vendor in one area, the other in other. So, but you cannot mix and match from different components of RAN from these different vendors. So the whole RAN, the concept of Open RAN was basically making the interfaces between different parts of the network open so that we can mix and match. The idea itself is actually pretty old. It goes back to, I think, even to late part of 2G and 3G days, that mobile network operators have been always asking, because that reduces their cost. They can, usually the model is vendors selling cheap at lower margin initially. Once their equipment is in the market, they make their margin and money on upgrades and expansions and so on. Since they already operators have the network, the vendor, they basically have to get the new stuff from them, and it's like a vendor lock-in, right? That is been around for a long time. So the Open RAN was basically to break that monolithic architecture with different, it's CU, DU, and RU coming from all different vendors. The concept itself has taken off. A prelude to Open RAN was virtualizing the whole network. They basically were, they were proprietary solutions running their own applications and so on a lot of times a proprietary hardware. So the first step was virtualizing RAN, wherein you use off the shelf hardware, servers and so on, and then run software on it. Sometimes it could be proprietary, sometimes it's not. So virtualization was the first part, and then when you have virtualized hardware and software, then basically you mix and match different components from different vendors. So it's a full multi-vendor open RAN. That's kind of the vision. Where are we right now? Virtualization is happening. Most of the new networks built, for example, the C-band build in the US is based on virtual RAN concept, where there is disaggregation between software and the hardware, and you're using off-the-shelf hardware. But whether it is fully open RAN, wherein whether they have open interfaces and multi-vendor, well, we are not there yet. So where we are at, there are open interfaces. So you have vRAN with open interfaces, so that at some point of time in the future you can mix and match. But it is starting to happen only on the radio side, but it is not a fully multi-vendor deployment right now. So a great example is AT&T. So AT&T signed a open RAN deal with Ericsson, wherein Ericsson will provide their cloud RAN, and they will also integrate a third-party radio provider. So per se, it will be multi-vendor, but the biggest issue with Open RAN was who will bring all these hardware and software pieces together and integrate them, which is a major deal in telecom networks, high reliability telecom networks. In this case, AT&T is basically has tasked Ericsson as that system integrator, and they are also basically a main provider, and then they'll integrate stuff from other vendors. So going forward, I think that will be the main modus operandi, if you will, wherein operators don't want to take the integration under their control, which could be very difficult, and many operators may not have that kind of skills and ability to do it. So they will basically start with single vendor open RAN, as in RAN with open interfaces, and they might have some other third party radio vendors to make it even multi-vendor radio to some extent. And then as a next step, when they want to expand this network further, they will have fully multi-vendor open RAN. But most of the 5G networks that are deployed right now are either legacy to begin with, and the newer 5G networks are virtualized vRAN networks. It could be even open RAN, but with single vendor. I hope I did not confuse you too much. So,
No, it was perfect. Thank you so much, Prakash.
yeah.
And Joe, can you tell us why it's beneficial to work with an end-to-end IoT service provider?
Tiffany, absolutely. We're getting close to Halloween, so I have some scary stories about clients that have come to me trying to part out each part of their project and think they're going to save money by doing so. And really, in the end, it costs them more. It's hard to vet out all those moving parts and different companies. So, working with an end to end service provider offers a seamless experience. You get a single point of contact for every part of everything you do, from device management to connectivity and data processing. This really reduces integration challenges and ensures that every piece of the solution works together, saving time, effort, and cost. And this while allowing the businesses to focus on their core operations. Right, instead of managing multiple vendors, they have one person to look to and manage it. It saves time, efficiencies, and gets you a product that you really are going to be proud of when it comes out the door.
And if we weren't cutting it a little short on time, I would have you go into detail and share some of those scary stories. I love the Halloween reference. And Johannes, can you share some strategies for eco-friendly digital transformation initiatives?
Sure, Tiffany. In IoT, eco-friendly digital transformation is gaining in momentum, and we'll take a much deeper dive into this topic at our upcoming Green Think Summit in 2025. But for this opening panel, I'd like to highlight a few of the emerging key trends. So first of all, IoT devices are increasingly being manufactured using IoT-friendly materials, reducing environmental impact and promoting recyclability. Second, there is a strong focus for various reasons, but there's a strong focus on reducing power consumption of IoT devices through low power components and optimized software, prolonging battery life and minimizing energy use. Third, by processing data close to the source, edge computing reduces the need to transmit large volumes of data over networks, cutting down on energy consumption and carbon emissions. Next, IoT is revolutionizing energy distribution with smart grids that optimize energy use, integrate renewable energy sources, and reduce waste. And fifth, IoT enables real-time monitoring of systems, as we mentioned several times already, allowing for predictive maintenance and reducing the need for physical intervention, which cuts down on emissions from travel. And last but not least, and I would like to mention this one, um, Bill Gates, Bill Gates, one of his initiatives is also focused on an eco-friendly approach. So through his company TerraPower, he is promoting the development and deployment of small nuclear reactor. Nuclear is coming back. So these nuclear reactors can be considered relatively eco-friendly for a number of reasons, though they are not without environmental challenges, as we all know. But let me mention a few of the eco-friendly benefits of Bill Gates' SNRs. So, of course, low greenhouse gas emissions, as you can imagine. The next one is efficient land use. So SNRs can generate large amounts of electricity on a much smaller footprint compared to renewable sources like solar or wind farms, which still require and will require vast areas of land. They also provide a clean, reliable power generation. Small nuclear reactors can provide consistent, low carbon energy. And Bill Gates emphasizes their potential to replace coal and natural gas plants, supporting a transition to clean energy while maintaining grid stability, especially as renewable sources like wind and solar fluctuate all the time.
Thank you, Johannes. You know that the green IoT is very near and dear to my heart, which is why we do the Green Thing Summit coming up in April. So you have to check that out if you're interested in those topics, or if you're a solution provider looking for a platform to feature your solution. And Prakash, what strategies can you share for keeping IoT devices secure?
Yeah, sure. Lots of them. So I think the and the most basic thing is to have a a zero trust approach. So I think that's one of the basic ones, and then you have different levels of security, um, starting right from the chipset that is used, going to the model level, going to the device level, and the management software, device management software that you're running, and then and then the zero trust approach also comes in, making sure that the access to the devices, access to the critical software that is running on the device itself has, you know different levels of control as well, access and control. um, and also overall, in my view, I think supply chain security is one of the key things you can basically uh, you can work on to make sure, no matter how much technologically you include security in your products and services, but if the supply chain is compromised, it's going to be very hard to detect and remedy it in the long run. So yeah, that's at a very high level.
Thank you, Prakash. I'm sure you could also do an entire session on that topic, but thank you very much.
And we
And
also have a report on our website on it, so if you want to check it out.
all the reports, yes,
Yes.
check those out for sure. They are very, very well put together.
Yeah.
And Joe, do you have any other tips for making IoT solutions successful?
Tiffany, I do. Please start with a clear understanding of your business problem and identify the specific data points that will help you solve it. It's crucial. Otherwise, you go off on a tangent and never really get the solution that you want. Keep the solution scalable as your needs might evolve in time. So make sure that it's well thought out. Ensure strong security from day one. IoT devices are prime targets for attacks. And lastly, always prioritize interoperability. As your IoT ecosystems will likely take some changes, you'll need to connect with various devices and platforms over time. So build for today and look for tomorrow in that in your devices and what you're looking to build out, because IoT changes, AI is changing. So make sure that you have that flexibility to grow as the company grows.
Thank you so much, Joe. And thank you to all of my amazing panelists. You've been fantastic. And if you want more information on, our vendors that we have featured in the event, you can visit our virtual expo hall. That's part of the Summit of Things. They've got even more information. You can also direct message any of the speakers that you hear from today, including the ones on your screen right now. So if you have further questions for them, drop a message in the chat, leave them a direct message, and I'm sure they will get right back to you and assist you with whatever initiatives that you're working towards. And this has been an incredible kickoff to our 3-day virtual event. So if you've not done so already, please visit iotmktg.com so that you can see all of these amazing sessions featuring 30 different speakers, and you get access to all of the content for 90 days. So get your ticket now to watch it all. And thank you again to my amazing panel and for all of you watching. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you all so much.
Bye-bye.